Hello there, Maverick Currency traders. This is Rob. It is Tuesday, August 5th. Let's jump into it. In this session, we're going to be talking about the news of the day. There wasn't a lot of news. We're going to talk about movements. There wasn't a lot of movements. We're going to talk about trading opportunities. There's not a ton of trading opportunities, so aren't you excited? Let's get going.
All trades and analysis in this video are intended for professional traders only. This content does not constitute financial advice and is for educational purposes. This video is being released after a short delay due to Compliance Department review. Maverick members receive this content immediately as part of their daily trading resources. If you're ready to level up, consider joining Maverick Currencies. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits. You bring the skill, we provide the backing. Let's get into today's market recap and see how the pros are trading the currency markets.
All right, let's take a look at the final numbers for today. Let's look at the news first. Last night, we got earnings from Palantir, which is a big AI company. They blew away the earnings report, and the stock gapped up about 9% after hours. Everything was in a really good mood after a big rebound on Monday. We gapped up and we fell apart. So we got another gap and fall apart from tech, which is confirming what I said last weekend when I said, hey, that was a blow off top. It's going to be a while until the tech stocks can really get going again. And so we saw some overall weakness in equities. That being said, most markets are still in tight ranges, so we didn't see a huge change in anything. And in fact, we're going to take a look at all the velocity scores, and you're going to see there's hardly anything going on at the moment. We also got the ISM services report that came out at 50.1. Above 50 is growth, below 50 is contraction. This number has been about 53 to 55 for the last couple of years. At 50, this is a big deal. So the market didn't like that either, at least for equities. So what did that mean for Forex? Well, we got a really strange bit of movement here, but it wasn't a lot of movement. As you can see here, dollar, Swiss franc, euro, pound, CAD, Aussie, all basically went sideways against each other. There was only two currencies that really moved today, and that was the yen, which was the biggest mover to the downside, and the Kiwi. I mean, everything else is virtually unchanged. I mean, look at all of these currencies, virtually unchanged for the day. The only real play was short yen, and depending on what you played, it was a mild gain at best. Moving on to the rest of the markets, you can see the SPX down about 0.5%, oil down, gold flat, crypto down 2%. I know that sounds bad, but in the world of crypto, that's a mild to moderate down day in crypto. And across the board here, you can see Bitcoin and Litecoin were the outperformers, with Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum giving back the most. Let's take a quick look at the S&P chart. And this was the day I talked about. Last Thursday was this blow off top. We got some killer news. The market closed or opened up a 1% higher, ended up closing the day 1% lower. This was a big engulfing candle that came on again. Great news. When you know there's a market top is when there is no more up movement from great news. So we got a follow through on Friday, had a nice bounce back yesterday, and you can see this candle here doesn't really tell us a lot. When we take a look here, we're still in a little bit of a bounce, but it's very clear that we have fallen back into this base here, this base between 6,200 and 6,300, and it looks like it's having a hard time holding its head above this point. I am neutral to slightly bullish in the market until 6,200 is broken. If 6,200 gets broken, then I will definitely change, but from here on out, I have to look at this as a pullback only. What does that mean for the currency world? Well, not a whole lot. We're not seeing very strong correlations between equities and currencies like we usually do. There's also just not a whole lot on the schedule here. You can see over the next 24 hours, we have news from New Zealand. So if you're playing the Kiwi, there might be a movement based on this, but other than that, there is just nothing going on. I'm not even going to go through all of the currencies because that's what I usually do next. And I just want to show you the scores. This is where we are on velocity scores. As you can see here, everything's just stacked up right in the middle, not going anywhere. The EMAs are flat, RSIs are flat, I mean, just flat across the board. So the only thing that you could possibly take a look at is euro against the Kiwi. So that is going to be the only thing we look at today. And look, and I'm not saying this is even a great trade, but it's the only trade out there I see based on velocity scores. Okay, so here is Euro Kiwi on a 4-hour chart, and you can see just a really nice base forming here. This is a beautiful high base, and it's punching out of the top of it. Let's take a look at it on a daily chart, and you can see that we're now clearing out of some pretty good resistance. We're not quite out of it yet, but boy, it's really looking to build here. If we can get a run here, let's go back and see where this next resistance level could possibly be. All the way up to 198, maybe 198.50, somewhere in here. That's a nice 200 pip run, about 1%. This is the best looking chart out there at the moment. Now, does that mean it's a great trade and you should take it? No. This is a 1% upside. Some trades we've looked at lately have had 2 to 3% upside. This is 1%. This is a decent trade, if that. But on the 4-hour chart, it is already looking to break out. We got this little pullback on the 1-hour chart. You can see it's fighting to not break out here. And ultimately, I think it does break out. I like the entry right here at the moment. Euro Kiwi long, 196.38. Maybe be down here below this last little swing low and low of this base, 195.65. So, what is that, 70 pips? About 70 pips, and you got about 200 pips of upside. The risk reward makes some sense here. That being said, we do have Kiwi news tonight, which is going to throw some volatility in there. Understand that if you don't want to be messing around with this volatility, then there's really nothing to trade here. If you don't mind taking a shot on Kiwi pairs when there is fairly major news with employment and inflation, then I say this is the trade to take. So I think you can hear to my voice, I don't love trading here. I think we're definitely just in consolidation. I think you should do less trading, wait for the waves to come back. Remember, ebbs and flows happen. We had a nice flow last week. Nice movements, nice trends. We're getting a little bit of an ebb here over the last day or two. Just relax. Be like a surfer. When the waves are out there, go out there. When the waves aren't out there, don't try to push it. We want to be trading when there's good movement and not trading when there isn't. Thank you for joining me. Everyone have a great day. See you.